welcome you to Season 1, Episode 10 of The Tap Show, a program about wellness in success. I am your host, Keturah Adams, President of Haritech Global. I hope you've been enjoying The Tap Show so far and learning a lot out of it. I personally have been learning a lot and enjoying the ride. So for today's topic, we will tackle the title, Live Your Calling. And in order to talk about that part, we have to still talk about the grace gift. So if you have not watched the grace gift episode, I encourage you to do so. You can get it from Season 1, Episode 6, and you'll be able to get it. Now, when we talk about the grace gift, it is something that you naturally do. And one of the things that we discussed previously is to best live your best life and enjoy it and not work another day in your life. You must ensure that this grace gift, this thing that you naturally do, is reflected in your profession. So when we talk about profession, we're talking about qualifications and training in alignment with your interests. All right, so one thing I want you to ask yourself is, what part do you play in the field? So think of, I want you to paint a picture. So here you are, and anything that you do, whether directly or indirectly, you are in a team, you are interacting with people, you are solving problems indirectly or not. And so in this team that you're in, and in this field that you're on, what part do you play? That is a question that you must be able to answer. So, for example, in American football, when the players are on the field, the players have their own position. There's a part that they play. We have the quarterback, the defense, the running back, the wide receiver, and what have you. There is a specific role, a specific position that they play in that field. It's the same with your profession. When you think of your profession, think of it as the part that you play in the career field, or in that space that you're in. And so now let's look at a couple of career fields. All right, so this is to bring hopefully your skill, your gifts, your interest in alignment. All right, so let's take a look at some of these career fields that are out there. But before we go through the list of career fields, and hopefully you can identify a couple that resonates with you, first, again, we must ask ourselves 3 basic questions. And this basic question is to help you align your general interest to the career field. So what I want you to ask yourself is this: do you care to know more about this particular career field? So these are some of the things you want to ask yourself as you venture in these fields. Do you care to know more? That is knowledge based. Do you care to know more about the advancement, what's happening in that field? Is that of interest to you? The second thing you want to ask yourself is, are you willing to perform? Okay, are you willing to put the skill sets needed to practice? That is another thing. Do you care about the skill sets that is needed to perform? The third thing you want to ask yourself is, are you ready to assist if input from you is needed? That is service. Are you ready to assist? If you can answer these questions positively towards a particular career field or fields, then you know that what you are aligning your interests with your grace gift. All right. So again, ask yourself, knowledge-wise, do you care to know more? Do you care to extract more knowledge from it? Then number 2, performance, right? Are you willing to perform at that job and utilize the skills needed to carry out optimally in that field? And then thirdly, you want to ask you, are you ready to assist when a need comes? And it's not about you being able and having all the answers, but do you have a certain drive and interest to solve a problem or be of assistance in that field? If you identify big yes to certain career fields, and I'm going to mention a couple, then you can get a sense of the direction or the career field that aligns with your interests. We have, for example, career fields in the arts and entertainment. Me personally, I would check either all no or 1 yes, okay? Because it is not an interest of mine in when it comes to my profession. There are others that are business and management and administration, okay? Others are in community or social services. There are others in the public domain, so like more of a public policy or law. We have others in sales and government, healthcare and medicine, others science and technology, others communication and education. So for example, I'll use myself an example. When it comes to education, I am interested in the system. I'm interested in the overall in teaching and curriculum and impacting knowledge. And so education is definitely a big yes on these three questions that I ask. Also, I look at science and technology. I'm very fascinated when it comes to chemistry, not only that in the biology field, so you can see an interest there and why I also do research and why I also teach in the science field. So of course, in these three areas, do I want to know more about the sciences? Yes. Do I want to develop a skill to solve a problem and all? Of course. And then am I ready to assist? Of course. Sometimes you don't even have to ask me. I'm there ready to help when it comes to certain fields. And so I want to ask you, with the list that I've made, okay, with the list that I've put in place or I've shared with you, are any of them, I believe at least one should be able to stand out to you. All right. And so again, let me give you your a picture. Your career field is the area you enjoy playing your part. Your career field is the area you enjoy playing your part. And your profession is the position or the part that you can play best. Your profession is that position or that part that you can play best. So when these two align, all right, you are better able to display your grace gift. So it is very important to identify the grace gift and then put the necessary things that we're talking about now in place. Then you can begin to ask yourself, what are the trainings and qualifications that I need in order to play the part in this field using my abilities? These are the three components that you want to be able to address. What training and qualifications do I need to play a part in the field using my abilities? All right. And so now that you have identified, have an idea of your grace gift, you have an idea of your interests, all right, you're ready to play. You're ready to play. And in that playing, right, you are consistently practicing. You're consistently showing up and training and preparing for the game. So when you are called upon, you are ready and you're giving it your best. So this part, quote unquote, your profession or your position means different things for different people. We can have the same career field, but our position will not be the same. And that is where authenticity, that's where your uniqueness comes in play, your interest, your grace gift, right? All comes into play to give you this unique role that you fit and you are able to best function. All right. And so not everyone who is interested in science and technology would be a professor. Okay. There are different areas or different positions that person can be in. So if we talk about architecture and engineering, we're talking about civil engineer, architects. If we talk about more of in the science field, we're talking about physicists and technicians. If we're talking about education, we're talking about teachers or librarians, right? These are just a few, just a list. I can't go into it extensively because of time. If we're talking about social services, we're talking about school counselors or social workers. If we're talking about people in the health field or health and medicine, we're talking doctors, nurses, and what have you. If we're talking about people in the arts department, it's more, designers, producers, filmmakers, songwriters, and the list goes on and on and on. When we are talking about people that can offer, in a sense, services, installation, repairs, and what have you. We're talking about mechanics, plumbers. If we're talking about people in agriculture, we're talking about farmers, fishermen, and the list again goes on and on and on. The list is a big one. I cannot go through all of that. If we're talking about people interested in government, right? You also see politicians, you see firefighters, and so on and so forth. So my question is to you as we wrap up here today is, do you have the necessary qualifications and training which will help you to show up and perform at your optimal level at the position that you're in? If the answer is not clear, a lot of time has to be placed on identifying, aligning your interest to these career fields. And as you get the feel of these career fields, you begin to now get channeled into the position. All right. So it's very, very, very key to identify those fields that you're willing to play on. All right. So I leave this with you. Always ask yourself, what part or position are you willing and ready to play? And are you willing to receive all the necessary feedback in order to improve and get better and better at your craft? All right. And so in order to get the qualifications and skills that you need, two things that are important here is when it's in the area of your personal and professional development. This is something that is on you. You cannot expect let's say you're in school right now, you cannot expect school to train you in all those areas. Or if let's say you're working right now, you're not expecting your job to train in all this. This is up to you. You must be willing to assess both your soft and hard skills. And I've talked about it also in previous episodes that you can check out. All right. So this is the work that you must do. All right. And what do you do? You want to develop you want to develop yourself personally and professionally. Two things that you want to keep in mind. Be a student at heart. It gets you to refine your gifts. It gets you to get better and better and better at your craft. And then also continually embrace the changes that comes along with the journey. All right. So as you know it, these things of finding your purpose or walking in being purposely driven and building a legacy is not far-fetched. There's a part that we must play, and once we identify the part that we play, you realize that things are effortless and we're able to show up consistently as the better versions of ourselves. All right, so I will end with this. There's another segment. So this is the second dimension. We are going to talk about the third dimension next week, so look out for it. You will love it, and it's going to hopefully bring a lot of things to full circle for you, or explain to you why you're doing things the way you're doing it. All right, so as I always mention, there is so much involved in this discussion. There's a whole lot more really that we talk about, and I'm here to again bring your mind to the TAP course. Now this course, it's a course to help you discover, develop, and dominate with your inherent abilities. This is a course that you're able to function properly in the area, in the parts that you play. That way you can better be of service to others, which is the ultimate goal after all. All right, so if you need any more information about the TAP course, visit www.haritechglobal.com/tap-in. That information is also in the link in our bio. I can't stress this enough. This is a course that you need. It starts in February, and this is the course you need to prepare yourself. I can guarantee you, after this course, you will see life in a whole new dimension. TAP is coming back bigger and better than ever, and we have so much in store for you. So if you are enjoying this live, this IG live, if you're learning a lot from it, then this course is for you, because we go into the practical ways to actualize the things that we're talking about. I provide you with here at Haritech, you are given all the resources that you need, and then you're able to connect with like-minded people. There is nothing better than being in a team of people that are as focused or are in the same direction in terms of their mental capacity as you. There's nothing better than that, and TAP gives you that and more. And so I encourage you to check it out. You will not regret making that investment. All right, and so link is in the bio. Go ahead and check it out. Again, www.haritechglobal.com/tap in. All right, also for those of you who are following me on my personal page, okay, you can have access. There's a challenge that has been going on. It's been 6 weeks now, but it's not too late to join. This is the Energy and Focus Management Challenge. All right, and so basically what we're doing is drinking 1 cup of smoothie a day, healthy smoothie, and this recipe has been specially formulated for you. So you check out my story every day, Monday through Friday, and it has all the recipes. You can also check out my story highlights on the wellness tab, and there's tons of information about that. Trust me, as high achievers, you need all the energy and focus to do the things that you need to do. And so this is one way of gaining that focus and energy. And so I encourage you to be a part of this journey. It ends December 30th. All right, so it doesn't take much. Basically what we're doing is incorporating this healthy lifestyle into our lives, so that coming next year we don't have to do a challenge. It's a part of you, it's a habit, it's part of your routine. You are ready to make things happen. So I encourage you to join me on this journey, and thank you all so much for those who have joined in. I mean, it's nice to do with others, and so thank you. I know it's benefiting you, and it's also benefiting me, because we are all doing this together. And then last but not the least, as I leave here, there is some exciting news that is coming up soon here at Haritech, so look out for it. It's special. It's special for anyway, I'm not going to say too much before I disclose it, but look out for it on our social media pages. As usual, I've had a wonderful time with you. I hope that you've been able to learn that it is time for you to live your calling. And in order to live your calling, these are some of the steps that we have talked about today that you can implement, and you realize that you will find yourself in areas that you're asking yourself how and when. Well, here you are. You've been able to put certain things in place, and that has positioned you to play the part. Thank you all so much for joining. Have a creativeful rest of the week, and remember, keep on folding. There's more to you than meets the eye. God bless you, and thank you for spending this time with me. As usual, share and also comment the things that you have learned. Thank you so much, and have a good night.